That's Brian Thompson right there, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare. He was shot and killed while outside the Hilton Hotel. Let's get right to CNN's Bryn Gingras with the latest on this. I know the details are just coming in, Bryn, so what are you learning?
Yeah, that's right, John. Of course, this is still unfolding. Investigators there on the scene. But as you just described there, they believe right now this was a targeted attack. Now, let's back up to just a few hours ago this morning in midtown Manhattan. And for reference, for people who aren't familiar, of course, with New York City, this is really not far from where the tree lighting is expected to occur tonight, in the heart of the theater district in midtown Manhattan. We're told that Thompson was headed to a conference for UnitedHealthcare that was expected to happen in the ballroom of that hotel, of the Hilton there in Midtown, when there was a gunman who fired shots about 20 feet away from him as he was approaching that hotel. Again, it appears it was a targeted attack. That gunman then, according to sources telling our John Miller, fled through a back alley near a theater, again in the heart of New York City in the theater district, hopped on a bicycle, and that is how that suspect got away. So you can imagine right now, investigators are there on the scene. They're combing that area. They're pulling video of a very popular area of New York City. Lots of cameras to pull from to figure out exactly what happened here, where that person fled to. What we understand, though, is that that suspect was actually outside that hotel for quite a bit before Thompson actually approached that hotel. So that is why at this point right now in the investigation, investigators believe this was a targeted attack. But again, a lot of questions here, exactly why Thompson was targeted, who obviously this person is, was there any help? Again, as I said, we're told through sources that he fled on a bicycle through a back alley, so it doesn't appear like there was anybody else yet involved, but still so many questions, and we know investigators combing the scene of that area as we speak.
Yeah, again, just to reiterate some points that Bryn just made there, we've been told, CNN's John Miller reporting that the gunman had been waiting for Brian Thompson, the UnitedHealthcare CEO, to arrive at this conference at the Hilton, which is why they believe this was a targeted attack. As Bryn points out, the Hilton Hotel, I mean, right in the middle of all the action, particularly in the Christmas season here in New York. So much activity in and around that area. So obviously that is of enormous concern this morning. And then, Bryn, this guy got away, or the shooter got away, we think, on a bike. I have to imagine there is not a small manhunt underway right now across this city.
Oh, absolutely. There's a huge manhunt across this city. And also, let's reference the time, John. We're talking again, I keep reinforcing it, but midtown Manhattan at the height of Thursday morning, a rush hour time, and a gunman firing multiple shots outside this hotel where, as you just said, this is a big tourist area. And as I also mentioned, you know, this is the tree lighting. So there's a lot of security in this area, especially today because of that event that's taking place later tonight. So this is certainly something that is extremely alarming to police, that this could actually happen, and that's going to be probably part of this investigation, is how did it happen. But it does appear it was a targeted attack, and you just said it, John, this is no small manhunt that is going on right now as they search for the suspect who might have fired these shots.
You know what? I'm going to let you take that call, Bryn, because we are getting new information in by the second here. Hopefully, Bryn's got some new reporting for us in just a minute. Again, the news that we're following at this moment, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, Brian Thompson, gunned down on the streets of New York this morning. Just context, UnitedHealthcare is the biggest healthcare company in the country. We don't know why Thompson was targeted, but authorities believe it was a targeted attack. The gunman, police tell John Miller, waiting for Thompson to arrive at an event at the Hilton Hotel. And importantly right now, the gunman's still on the loose. So a manhunt underway in jam-packed, holiday-crazed New York City. Let's bring back Bryn Gingras, who's been reporting on this, for any more information you've been getting, Bryn.
Yeah, that's right, John. Listen, I just got off the phone with sources, and I'm just learning a little bit more details. First of all, we should get a lot more details because we're expecting police to hold a news conference later this morning at about 11:30 or so. So we'll probably hear from the police commissioner. Hopefully by then we'll have a little bit more details on the investigation. As you can imagine, that is very, in high speed at this point right now. What we're also learning, of course, as John Miller was reporting through his sources, is that police are right now polling camera images from all that area. And as I said before, there are a lot of cameras since we're talking about the heart of Manhattan. So there are images that police are going to have of this suspect, not only the video of this person, trying to get away on a bicycle, as we reported, through a back alley behind a theater, but also just images of this actual person. And what I'm learning from sources is that this person was also masked. So it's possible this is going to hinder a little bit of them trying to identify who this person is. I've also learned from sources just within the last few minutes that that person might have been waiting outside that hotel for about 10 minutes or so. As we said, John was reporting that sources were telling him that we believe he was waiting. It's a targeted attack against that UnitedHealthcare CEO, Brian Thompson. That is one of the theories that investigators are working with right now. So it's possible that person was actually waiting outside that hotel for about 10 minutes or so. Again, this is all preliminary information. This is what we are learning from sources at this point. And of course, they need to firm up their information as this investigation continues. But we will expect some more information, certainly when police have that press conference we're expecting around 11:30 this morning. But those are some new details.
All right, Brent, stand by for us for a moment, or work the phones if you have to. I want to bring in Steve Moore, CNN law enforcement analyst, former FBI special agent. Steve, so two things I want to ask you about that Bryn just reported. Number one, this gunman was masked, apparently, and is now on the loose in New York. Talk to us about the manhunt that you imagine is underway.
Well, it's going to be really difficult, obviously, because within about 5 minutes, your description isn't going to be worth anything. He's going to dump the mask, probably switch into clothes, or at least take off the dark clothes that were probably over his street clothes. You would probably be setting up some kind of cordon, but again, you're talking about Midtown. So how much can you actually shut off in a short amount of time? I think in this case, you're probably looking less at an immediate arrest because you don't know. I mean, you have cabs, public transport, Uber, personal cars. He could be anywhere by now.
So very quickly, law enforcement sources have told our Brent Gingras and John Miller that they believe this was a targeted attack. And one of the main points of reasoning there is that they believe this gunman had been waiting on the scene for 10 minutes before the shooting. If you can discuss the importance of that fact.
Well, it's pretty huge at this point. It seems targeted. First of all, he was at a meeting that was publicly known. It wouldn't be hard for anybody to determine where his location would be. The fact that he was waiting right at that point for 10 minutes would show that he had some intel on where this person would be at a certain point. So that is... that does two things to you. It shows that, again, it appears to be a targeted attack. And number two, it doesn't appear that other people in the area are going to be necessarily in immediate danger. It switches you, though, to the mode of who and why. And, of course, when you have a company like that that serves millions of people, it's a big net.
Yeah, the who and the why of it. So walk me through what law enforcement can do, given the limited information they have right now. Guy laying in wait for 10 minutes or so, opening fire when he sees Brian Thompson walking into the hotel, taking off on a bike. We know Brian Thompson, and I do apologize to everyone. We're trying to get more information on this man who was lost, and our condolences are to his family this morning, to be sure. But if he was walking into a conference at this point, Steve, do you try to talk to everyone who was there, go through anyone who'd been waiting to see him to find out what you can? How critical are these first minutes in that case?
The first minutes are very important, of course, but what you're going to look at is what was the gun that was used? Was it a semi-auto? Are there casings on the ground? The casings can at least lead you to the type of pistol that you're looking at, or if I'm assuming it was a pistol, it can give you that kind of information. You're also trying to pick up as quickly as you can any security cameras that would have been in the area of the hotel and the direction in which he seemed to escape. So you're looking again at the stuff that would be right there. The people in the car, yes, or the people waiting for him would be crucial. You'd also want to know, was there somebody where he got into the car? Was there somebody waiting there if he had just arrived? So you're going to be sending people all over the place trying to get instant interviews.